Hey everybody, thank you for joining us here at the First Alert Desk on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Maria Moreau, taking you through your top headlines and latest news-making headlines here in Metro Atlanta. I do want to start with this. If you just missed it, we've been following the Atlanta Braves as they make their way over to Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, where they will head to Philadelphia to take on the Phillies one more time. Now, if you were been following our coverage, the Braves defeated the Phillies 5-4 yesterday, and it was an exciting moment. Fans turned out to Truist Park today to really send these guys their love, their excitement, and their passion as they head off to Game 3. And really that excitement could be felt through the screen back here at Atlanta News First, where we broadcast that to you on our Atlanta News First Plus stream. But right now you're looking at Hartsfield-Jackson. This is the final point for the Braves before they're officially in the air and on their way to Philly. Our Atlanta News First sports team is going to Philadelphia to bring you live coverage every step of the way. Our Atlanta News First Patrick Quinn is on the ground here at Truist Park talking to these fans, so we have comprehensive coverage for you coming up in our 3 o'clock newscast. All right, I want to talk about something a little more serious, and that's been on the top of a lot of people's minds, and that is the war in Israel. Now, we broke this to you on Saturday when we shared with you news of an attack by Hamas on Israel, specifically 22 of its communities and regions, and the situation has just gotten worse for so many. Right now, the death toll climbing to 1,600, and that is just among the confirmed dead. We have been told thousands more believed to be wounded and missing on both sides of this war. Americans among that death toll as well. Now, as we talk about the ongoing Israel-Hamas war and the tensions that continue to mount in this region, specifically along the Gaza Strip, we talk about the impacts being felt thousands of miles away here in Atlanta, and thousands of families are really holding on to hope for their loved ones who are in Israel. In fact, we actually spoke to a man whose sister is fighting on the front lines as part of Israel's defense force. Our Tori Cooper shares more.
They heard the bombs going above their head. So eventually he got home, he got his wife, they took everything in, and they just got the hell out of there. They just drove as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah. These are the types of situations Tal's friends and family members are living through in Israel.
And on the way, he saw numerous cars, people literally murdered in their cars on the street, bodies laid on the side of the road.
A native to Israel, but a resident in Dunwoody, Tal's heart is bleeding for his mom, dad, 3 brothers, and 1 sister who are spending hours in bomb shelters in northern Israel and seeking safety in other areas amid attacks from U.S.-defined terrorist group Hamas that operates in Palestine.
This is a battle for the entire world because this is a war against humanity, what has been done right now.
His sister is on the front lines of the war against Hamas as she fights for the Israeli Defense Forces tonight.
My sister was called straight back to the military to help with organizing the regroup of our army.
His sister is organizing Israel's defenses, helping to brief the reserves on what each mission entails, where to go, and ensuring they are trained for battle. Back on U.S. soil, dozens in support of Israel gathered at the Chabad of Cobb to pray for families like Tal's, the soldiers, the victims, and the survivors. Rabbi Silverman reminding everyone to be the light, even during this dark time for Israel.
We need to come together, we need to be strong together, and this is going to be a difficult road, but we're going to overcome this.
And the family of an Atlanta Deacon is inching closer and closer to closure. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis said body camera footage could be released as soon as this week. If you'll remember, Johnny Holman died after being arrested and tased during a traffic stop. Now, less than a week ago, the Fulton County medical examiner ruled it a homicide. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is urging Atlanta police not to release the body cam video until the investigation is complete. Hallman's family, however, says that their fight for justice isn't stopping here. The family says, according to the DA's office, the video will be released once every witness has been interviewed, and that could happen as soon as Thursday. When just into our newsroom, really less than an hour ago, we did learn that the officer who had Hallman in his custody was involved in this tasing incident that led to his death. And now we've been told that that officer has been let go from the Atlanta Police Department. So we'll be keeping you updated on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. There is a news conference happening at 3:30. You can expect that to be carried out live here on Atlanta News First Plus, and we'll kind of give you some more context on what we've learned since then. We do have our Atlanta News First reporter on the ground talking to these families, talking to officials, and piecing together all of the developments that come out of this. So make sure you tune in at 3:30. All right, today is an extremely important day for many people who want to make sure that their voice is heard on this November ballot. If you haven't already registered to vote, now is the time to do so. It is the final day to register and make sure that you can cast your ballot come November 7th. Now, Atlanta News First Bridget Spencer has been out at Fulton County government throughout the day where officials are really making that final push to get people registered. Here's her report.
Well, everything from the mayor to city council seats to school board seats are all on the line in several metro Atlanta counties. Here, the Fulton County Government Center is one of the locations where you can vote. Now, here are some important dates to remember. Today is the deadline to register. Election Day happening November 7th. Early voting begins October 16th. Any runoffs, that's going to happen December 5th. Now, there may be some hurdles for a few voters. If you just moved to Georgia, you may need to take an extra step and show proof of residency if you have an out-of-state ID. But that's nothing that election officials cannot help you with when you sign up. We talked to a woman during the last election season. In fact, it was last fall. She thought it was very important for her to make sure she had all her ducks in a row so her voice can be heard.
Seeing as though I have a Florida license, I had to show proof of residency. So when I submitted my application via mail, I had to attach a utility bill just showing that I do live in Georgia now. I just think it's important to just let our voice be heard, vote for someone who we feel represents our beliefs.
Registration should be seamless and easy if you are already a registered voter. Voting machines will be set up here at the Government Center. A lot of people have been pushing to go back to paper ballots, in particular one advocacy group. But the Secretary of State says Georgians can rest assured that they can trust the electronic voting system. From the Fulton County Government Center, Bridget Spencer, Atlanta News First.
And important to note, we do have an article titled Everything You Need to Know About Registering to Vote with all of those links that Bridget just mentioned. So really, if you go to that article, whether it's on your desktop or if you have the Atlanta News First app, it is on there. That will take you step by step through everything you need to do. And I promise it is a 5-second process for most of you. If you have been previously registered to vote, it should be easier than ever to enter your information or at least be guided through the steps of what you'll need to make sure that you are ready to vote. All right, moving on. It is a joyous day for donut lovers here in Atlanta, and in case you haven't heard, the hot sign is finally back on at the Ponce de Leon Krispy Kreme after a fire destroyed the donut shop 2 years ago. Now, Atlanta News First Madeline Montgomery has been following the grand opening and all of the excitement, catching some of these folks who made it out to get their free donut.
You guys, exciting stuff out here. The hot sign is on at the Krispy Kreme at last after years. Folks have been waiting for this moment for a long time. In fact, folks were lined up early this morning just anticipating the reopening of the Ponce Krispy Kreme. This Krispy Kreme has been over here since the 1960s. It is known for its retro sign, and the sign looks pretty much the same, just slightly updated, while the store has been modernized. The shop was burned down back in 2021 rather. A few months later, a second fire in the building led to it being demolished. And since then, Atlantans have been anxiously awaiting the reopening of what's called the Shack Shop, since Shaquille O'Neal owns part of this Krispy Kreme. And we spoke with folks who've been out here since early in the morning, just waiting for their donuts.
I'm glad to see it rejuvenated and back up and running. It was always fun to come over and get a Krispy Kreme and a cup of coffee.
a perk for some of the folks who come out here for the grand opening. Some may have the chance to win a card that would allow them to get a dozen free donuts each month for an entire year. Reporting on Ponce, I'm Madeline Montgomery, Atlanta News First.
And you can bet yourself I will be getting my Krispy Kreme donut today. I've been waiting for this reopening myself, so I'll be among that crowd. Make sure if you are a donut lover that you come down, show your support, and visit them today. They will be open pretty much from the moment you rise at 6 a.m. all day so that you can get your donut. All right, keeping that Braves energy going, here's a live look right now at Truist Park. A pretty empty stadium, as you can imagine, but that's because the Braves are off to Philadelphia for Game 3 happening tomorrow. So if you're going to take anything away from this time that we've had together, make sure you got the Braves on your mind, send them your good energy, and sport your Braves merch tomorrow. We'll see you with your latest local headlines, starting with our Atlanta News First newscast at 3. Coming up, as I mentioned, we do have remarks from President Biden. He will be speaking on the ongoing Hamas-Israel war, followed by a 3:30 news conference with the family of Atlanta Deacon Hallman, who will be talking about the latest developments that came out of today's conversation with the district attorney, as well as the firing of the Atlanta police officer involved in his arrest. We'll see you soon.